actually want to hear from each of you, who are you looking forward to see perform this year at Rock the Bells?
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody that I grew up listening to, whether it was the X stuff, before on the Clue stuff. We on some life shit, raised in the crisis, love is priceless. You know what I mean? I listen to all that stuff. I see my man Sean P, the comrades of the underground. Prodigy over here was one of the first people to really, or the first brother to really drop the God science about government and what was going on, and we appreciate that. And it's an honor for me to be on stage with these legends, and I appreciate everything they've done for the game and everything they're gonna continue doing for the game. Hip-hop's great strength is diversity, so that's what we see on this stage, that's what we see on this lineup, and hopefully we can continue to see more of that in hip-hop.
Casualties of war, we are all casualties of war. I never tried to be chasing.
When I first heard about what they were gonna do, I realized that the way it looked, they were having a lot of new school artists at the same time put together with what I choose to term as true school artists, not old school artists. People who had the culture at a time when it had to be balanced, when you had to have knowledge, when you had to have lyrics that stood up to a standard. I come from a different New York City, you know? I come from a New York City that's not Disneyland. I remember when 42nd Street was full of, you know, prostitutes and hustlers and drug dealers, and it emphasized something different in the music. I remember when if you was whack on stage, people would drag you and rip you the fuck off. If you was whack in a cypher, somebody was gonna throw a drink on you or throw an icy on your white shirt. Like, that's just what it was. New York was a much more aggressive, angry type style, and I think what's interesting is to see that contrast now, which introduces younger people to the true school artists and shows or gives the opportunity for a lot of, you know, true school fans that are very fickle to make decisions about who they think are worthy enough to become supporters of. So I applaud that decision. I think more of that needs to happen in hip-hop, where we are not separated by generations. I have the same booking agent as a lot of these young cats. So whenever I talk to them, whether it's, you know, Crit or Mac Miller, we have conversations about going overseas, and, you know, it's not like I'm ever trying to talk down to them. You don't get nowhere by doing that. And as a matter of fact, I think that's where hip-hop really went wrong, especially during the civil rights era of preachiness. You know what I mean? What did they do? They said, oh, NWA, y'all are a disgrace. You know, you're a disgrace to the black race. We gonna steamroll your albums. You know what I mean? Where's the Christian compassion? You sitting there and you're playing high and mighty, holding the race card from the civil rights era, but you're forgetting about the poor, impoverished people, and you're trying to teach a 19-year-old Eazy-E, an 18-year-old Ice Cube with anger and with attacking their character rather than bringing them in. And this is not that I agree with everything that Minister Farrakhan did, but he would be the type to bring them in and say, you know, brother, let me have a conversation with you. So if I am forced to step back from where I am and look at the next generation coming to me, if all I have is cynicism and negativity, I don't have to rock with every song they have. I don't have to like everything that they do. But if I go out of my, or not even go out of my way, but if I spare the expense of treating them with civility and talking to them like a man, then I know the golden rule that in order to get love, you have to give love. And I have never turned away anybody that's ever come to me with a question or something like that. So I would say with the majority of, you know, the new cats that are on the bill, I have a decent rapport with them, and, you know, it's nothing but love, and it's always a learning experience. And I never think I'm above learning something from them. That conversation and that mixture needs to be a lot more, you know what I mean? It reminds me of a time when I was 21 years old and I learned this business from Italian and Jewish gangsters that were like, look, this is how people got ripped off back in the day. Don't make the same mistake, Technique. I learned from people that came into the business. When they would come and tell me, look, brother, this is how much I got paid for this classic album. Don't let the same thing happen to you. Become your own distributor. Become your own label. Do everything that you want to do. So I think that conversation needs to happen a lot more often. You know what I mean? And if I can pass that message down to the younger brothers, the way it was passed down to me, the way that Bambaataa or KRS or Chuck took time out of their fucking day to say, all right, here's a young motherfucker named Technique who sold, you know, 10, 20,000 records at the time, and I'm gonna bless him with a jewel. You know, I'm fucking up if I don't continue the legacy of that turning around and being open to have a discussion with young brothers in the game now.